Cancer. For many dog owners, it's one of the scariest words there is. We worry about ticks, about weight gain, about itchy paws. But the fear of that serious illness always lingers somewhere in the back of our minds. And the numbers really are alarming. Studies show that about 1 in every 2 dogs over the age of 10 will develop cancer at some point. Half of them. If you're reading this right now, you know exactly how heavy that thought feels. Watching your best friend lying on the rug and thinking about the possibility of illness can easily bring tears to your eyes. But what if you didn't have to just sit there feeling helpless? Genes may set the stage, but diet and lifestyle often decide how the story plays out. I'm a veterinarian, and in my practice I see both sides of this every single week. The heavy grief that cancer causes in dogs, but also the small miracles. Dogs who are still full of life at 14, 15, even 16 years old. And in almost every one of those cases, the owners actively change something, especially in the food bowl. Today we're talking about a field of science called epigenetics. Put simply, this means that food can influence how certain genes in the body behave. Some protective mechanisms can essentially be switched on this way, while others that promote disease tend to stay quiet. What follows are simple changes to your dog's food that anyone can make at home to better protect your dog's body at the cellular level. Let's start with the foundation, the daily food itself. Many dogs eat dry kibble, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Good quality kibble provides a balanced mix of vitamins and minerals. But during manufacturing, the food is pressed under very high heat and pressure, so it stays shelf stable. This process makes the food easy to store, but unfortunately, it also destroys many delicate vitamins, enzymes, and protective plant compounds. So your dog gets enough energy to get by, but often misses out on the fresh, living nutrients that help repair damaged cells. The solution isn't to throw out the kibble entirely, but to top it up wisely. If you'd like and can afford it, you can also switch entirely to pre-made balanced raw diets, or gently cooked meals that preserve natural nutrients better. If you cook at home yourself, it's important to stick closely to vet-approved recipes, so the balance of calcium and other minerals stays correct, since that's easy to throw off otherwise. A simple rule helps with daily topping up. Take out about 1/5 of your dog's usual kibble portion and replace it with fresh, nutrient-rich ingredients. The key here is not to fill that missing 1/5 with plain chicken alone. That throws the calcium to phosphorus ratio out of balance. A better approach is a mix of vegetables, eggs, and healthy fat sources, which keeps the overall diet balanced while delivering plenty of protective compounds. That brings us to the next important point, the ongoing low-grade inflammation in the body. Constant, low-level inflammation is one of the biggest risk factors for cancer overall. When cells are under constant stress, errors in DNA happen more easily, and tumors can grow out of those errors. And the most common trigger for this kind of inflammation is being overweight. Too much food doesn't just hurt the joints, it creates an environment in the body where cancer cells can spread more easily. Studies show that keeping a dog at a lean, healthy weight can extend its life expectancy by up to 2 full years. 2 years. You should be able to feel your dog's ribs fairly easily without having to press hard. To keep weight under control, it's worth taking a look at treats. They should never make up more than 1/10 of the daily food intake. Sweet, starchy biscuits aren't a good choice here. Better options are pure, simple protein sources like freeze-dried chicken, beef liver, or salmon. Dogs love them, and they don't come with unnecessary added sugars. Feeding times matter too. Some trendy diets recommend very long fasting periods for dogs. As a vet, I clearly advise against this. In small dogs, it can lead to dangerously low blood sugar, and in large, deep-chested dogs, it raises the risk of life-threatening bloat. The safest and healthiest approach is 2 consistent, properly measured meals a day. Steady, good feeding means stable, healthy cells. Now let's talk about foods that actively support the body's detox process. Dogs absorb small amounts of harmful substances every day through household cleaning products, through pesticides on treated lawns, through exhaust fumes outside. The liver is the body's own filtering organ that processes these substances. Certain foods can support the liver in this work. At the top of the list is broccoli, especially young broccoli sprouts. Broccoli contains a particular plant compound that gets a lot of attention in research because it activates the body's natural detox pathways and helps flush harmful substances out through urine before they can cause damage. Young sprouts contain many times more of this compound than mature broccoli. Proper preparation matters here. Raw, whole broccoli alone isn't enough. The compound only forms once the plant tissue is damaged. So chop or crush it finely, then let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes so the necessary chemical reaction can occur. After that, lightly steam it so it's easier on the stomach. Then mix it into the food. Carrots are also among the helpful vegetables. They contain compounds that can help protect cells from damage. A well-known study on Scottish Terriers, a breed with a higher risk of bladder cancer, found that dogs fed yellow or orange vegetables like carrots 2 to 3 times a week had a noticeably lower risk of developing that disease. So a simple cooked carrot really can offer a bit of protection. Another important building block is organ meat, especially liver. Beef or chicken liver is often considered by veterinarians to be a kind of natural multivitamin. It's rich in protein, B vitamins, and iron, and also contains the important nutrient choline, which supports the dog's own liver function. But a word of caution, liver is also very high in vitamin A, and too much of it can become harmful. For that reason, liver should only be given in small amounts, at most 2 to 3 times a week, and never more than a small fraction of the daily ration. On other days, eggs make a great addition. A whole egg provides high-quality protein in the egg white and healthy fats, along with more choline in the yolk. 2 to 3 gently cooked eggs a week, lightly mixed into the food, are a simple and effective addition. Alongside liver and protein support, protecting against so-called free radicals also plays a role. These are unstable particles that can damage cells in the body and speed up aging. Berries, especially blueberries, are very helpful here. Their dark color comes from plant compounds that can bind these harmful particles and neutralize them. 5 or 6 lightly crushed blueberries, just enough to release a bit of juice, mixed into the food, can offer a small but valuable layer of protection for the brain and aging cells. A large part of the immune system, an estimated 70 to 80%, sits directly in a dog's gut. A healthy gut is therefore essential for a strong immune system. When gut bacteria are out of balance, the immune system weakens too, and that makes it easier for illness to take hold. A spoonful of plain, unsweetened yogurt or kefir in the morning introduces helpful bacteria straight into the gut. They crowd out harmful bacteria, reduce gut inflammation, and strengthen the intestinal wall. It's a simple, inexpensive way to support the immune system. Inflammation can also be addressed from the outside. Many dry kibbles are high in omega-6 fatty acids from corn and cheap animal fats, which tend to promote inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids help counter that. There's an important biological detail to know here. Dogs are quite inefficient at converting plant oils like olive oil or flaxseed oil into the form their bodies actually need. So pouring those plant oils over the food provides little of the anti-inflammatory benefit we're after. Instead, what's needed are marine-based omega-3s. A high-quality fish oil, ideally derived from krill, provides exactly these effective fatty acids. Krill sit at the very bottom of the ocean food chain, so they accumulate very few heavy metals or other toxins, which makes them especially pure. Whether you choose a few drops of krill oil or a small portion of fresh, unsalted sardine, both deliver valuable fatty acids that can reduce inflammation throughout the body. Finally, a special spice, turmeric. In research involving both humans and animals, its active compound, curcumin, has been studied especially intensively. It's considered one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories there is. The problem is that the body absorbs curcumin very poorly on its own. Simply sprinkling dry turmeric powder over the food does almost nothing. It takes 2 small tricks. First, it needs to be combined with a healthy fat so it can be absorbed through the intestinal wall. Second, a tiny pinch of black pepper helps, since it significantly boosts absorption. Coconut oil tends to be discouraged for this purpose, since its high saturated fat content can irritate the gut in sensitive dogs, or even trigger pancreatitis. A neutral oil like olive oil works better. Heat half a cup of turmeric powder with a cup of water until it forms a paste. Then stir in a little olive oil and a half pinch of freshly ground pepper, and you have a simple golden paste. By the way, the olive oil here doesn't provide any omega-3s. It simply acts as a carrier, so the curcumin can be absorbed more effectively. After all this information, it's worth taking a deep breath. The fear of cancer is heavy, but you're not left helpless in the face of it. A lean body weight helps fight silent inflammation. A small portion of kibble can be swapped out for fresh, living ingredients. Crushed broccoli sprouts support the liver. Crushed blueberries help fight free radicals. Eggs and small amounts of liver provide valuable vitamins, and krill oil strengthens cells throughout the body. You don't have to do all of this at once. The best path to a long, healthy life for your dog is built on small, lasting habits. This week, it might be enough to just cook a carrot or fry an egg. Small choices like these add up over weeks and years into a noticeably healthier animal.